welcome to episode 94 of the Unwrapped Leader Podcast, where we get raw, real, and relevant in the new network marketing and helping you become a gifted leader in your business. My name is Teisha Dorianna from Canada, and super excited to be coming to you today with an episode all about empowering your downline, your team for growth in their business. I often hear, how do you motivate your team? How do you just get them going? And the truth is, they have to be self-motivated. But what we can do is we can show up and empower them every single day. So I actually broke it down into 6 steps that I want to share with you guys today on how you can empower your downline for growth in their business. Okay. So this is the key to growth. If you are in this industry looking to step up into leadership and become that gifted leader that you were meant to be, then you need to be great at empowering and inspiring. And I want to give you guys some steps on how to do that. And we're going to talk about like coaching techniques. If you're doing one-on-one coaching with your team, we're going to talk about recognition, growth mindset, how to lead by example, and just providing resources and support. So let's dive into it with step 1. And that is understanding your downline. So this is when your newbies are getting started. It's so important that you know your team members. I used to never ask when I first got started, and I just didn't know what I didn't know, right? And I didn't realize how important it was to really understand what my teammates' goals were. But if you know your team members individually, like their strengths, their weaknesses, their goals, their motivations, what they're scared of, but what they're really excited about. Like when they first get started, you want to find out exactly what they are looking for. You want to find out what is going to make them feel successful in their first full calendar month of being on your team, right? So I like to say, like, conduct regular check-ins and just maintain open communication and understand their progress. So when I have a new person come onto my team, they will get a form. That is the first thing that and I say, fill this out, and they fill it out, and then we have a call and we kind of go over them. And essentially it's just asking questions about them. Like, why did you get started? What is your main motivation? How much time do you have to put into this every single day or every single week? What kind of income would you like to see from this? And with that income, what are you going to use it for? Like, get them diving kind of deeper to really uncover that why in their business and get to know them as a person. And when you start to get to know them individually, this brings me to step 2, which is when you can coach them and have these regular check-ins. So step 2 is coaching strategies that we're going to discuss. And the more you know about them, that's when you can really conduct these coaching calls effectively. Okay. So I always offer to do weekly, bi-weekly, or even monthly calls with anyone on my team, whether they be brand new. Especially when they're brand new, I like to conduct like a weekly check-in because they are brand new. And sometimes when people don't have enough information or they don't know what to do next, they don't start. And that is like the number one reason people, you could say, fail in network marketing, is that they simply just don't start. So you really want to get them off on the right foot. So when you book a coaching call with them and I let them know, hey, let's get on some accountability calls. How does weekly work for you? What day of the week are you free? What time? And then you want to start these calls once you get that first one on the calendar. Very first call, guys, go over their goals and just reiterate them, right? I know they wrote them down in the form for you, and you read them over, but make sure you are repeating them to them. Like, this is your goal. I see this is fantastic. And really paint the picture for them on how they are going to achieve that. And I don't like to sugarcoat things either. Like, if they're like, I want to be making 10K a month. Well, I'm going to be realistic with them. Like, okay, you want to be making 10K a month? Like, that is a great long-term goal. So let's break down how you're going to get there and how long this may take for you and what exactly you need to do. But obviously, someone brand new, like, you have to learn to help them build up that like network, right? And sometimes that takes time. That takes nurturing your audience. So there's a lot more you have to teach them before you can just be like, oh, simple, go get 50 sales, right? Like, that's easier said than done when you don't have an audience or you don't have like a nurtured clientele yet. So when you do these coaching calls, I always say, like, after the first one, you went over their goals. I like to start every single call with pretty much asking, like, okay, how has the week been? Like if you're doing weekly calls, if you're doing bi-weekly, you could ask, how has the last couple weeks been? What went well for you? And getting them to start on a positive note, talking about the things they're excited about. I find a lot of times people will say to me when I ask this question, oh, I don't know. Like, I don't even know what went well. Like, I didn't get any sales, blah, blah. I'm like, no. What went well? Let's not talk about what you didn't get. What did you get done? What kind of action steps did you take? Because sometimes people tie results with, being successful. And I get that, but the actions have to come before the results come. So what did you do that went well? What kind of actions did you take? So start the call on a positive note. Next thing you want to do is remind them of their goals often, all throughout the call. They say they did something, be like, amazing. That is a good step in the right direction towards your goal of making X amount of dollars. Or that is a good step towards your goal of, having more time freedom with your kids or whatever it is, right? Reminding them of their goals is embedding that in their brain of this is why you're doing what you're doing. And then I like to leave them with action steps at the very end of the call. Ask them what they want to accomplish. So sometimes if I think of something that I think would really help them in the moment, I'll be like, hey, this is what I want you to do this week. Is this doable for you? So when we meet in a week, you'll have this done. And they'll say, yeah, either yes or no, and we'll kind of navigate that. But if you don't think of something in particular, I will usually ask them, what do you want to work on next week? What do you want to work on over this next week? What are you going to come back with when we have our next call? And they'll tell me, and then I write that down and I keep my notes. And then next week on the call, I'll bring it up and say, okay, how did this go? And I ask them how those action steps went and whether they went good or bad. We talk about it. We basically cover any sort of like very specific things that they did over the past week. I let them know if you have any conversations that you're in that you want some help with, let me know, and I'm happy to help you with them. And I offer feedback that is specific, actionable, and constructive all at once. So I call it sandwich feedback. So you're pretty much sandwiching it. So you're going to give something great. You're going to tell them something they can improve on, and then you're going to end with something great. So I always start with saying, that's why I get them to tell me what they did this week. That was great. Because then I could reiterate that. Okay, I love that you did this week. That is great. Fantastic. You're in the right direction. Now, here's something that maybe you could work on this upcoming week, right? We're not telling them like, oh, you're not great at this. Like, it's just, here's something we need to work on improving. Do you think you could take this step to improve that? And then end it with something great as well. You're doing a great job. Keep it up. I see that these results are going to be coming your way. So it's called the sandwich feedback. And I like to use that all the time. And this might be controversial, but I always say be the leader that they need, not the leader that they want. Because a lot of times people are going to you're going to have an impact on people and your downline and your team when you tell them what they need to hear, not necessarily what they want to hear. And sometimes people don't take it super well. I get it. Some people I even ask, like, what do you need from me? Do you want me to push you or do you want me to lay off? And some people say, I don't want to be pushed. I don't want to lay off. But often those are the people, if they're like, I don't really want you to push me, then usually those are people who don't really want to do calls anyways. So I don't really struggle with this too much. But if they want to do calls and they've specifically said to you, like, yeah, you could push me, you could do this, whatever, like I am the leader that they need. And I know that could be a struggle too when you start to form relationships with your downline and your team. Like you have this sort of, I guess, friendship, right? And so sometimes you want to tell them something, but you're scared to. And so sometimes what I do, to just be completely real, maybe you're on my team listening to this right now, and that's totally okay. But I had the leader that I needed, not necessarily the leader that I wanted. I mean, I wanted it. I like being pushed. I like being challenged. But she put me in my place and she would tell me exactly what I needed to hear in the moment. And even though sometimes I felt called out or I felt like, damn, like she's so right, that's what I needed. So I try and strive to be that same leader for my team. If it's something hard that you want to say, but you're like, I just need to be straight up, I tell them, I'm going to tell you this because I care about you and I care about your goals. I know what they are. And when I was in your situation, my leader said this to me. Okay. And then I go ahead and tell them. And that's, I guess, a way of me, feeling good about being the leader that they need. So I hope that makes sense. If you guys have any questions, you could always reach out to me and ask. But that's just a few tips on coaching strategy. So that is step 2. Now, step 3 is empowering your team through recognition. Now, we've probably heard this before, how important recognition is, whether people say they like being recognized or not. Like, You want to acknowledge and celebrate achievements, milestones within the team, big or small, actions or results. We celebrate everything. That is one thing about this industry that makes it so positive and uplifting, and a place that people want to stay in and be surrounded by. People love the community, and people love the community because everyone cheers everyone on. So if you reinforce positive behaviors, like they went live for the very first time, or they put up a story set today that they haven't done in a while, like reinforce those behaviors, shout them out, whether you have a team group chat, a team group page, or whatever it is, shout them out as much as possible. That is going to be what really keeps the team close. Okay. Okay, step 4 is cultivating a growth mindset. So you want to help create this environment within your team, because when I first started, I can't say I had a very strong mindset. Like, it's so easy to bring up the negative things all the time, right? And especially when we're starting something new and we have this fear of failure, it's easy to like throw in the towel, blame external factors. But I've learned so much about mindset and how important it is to have a growth mindset in the last 6 years of being in this industry, that this is something I truly feel people need more training on, because mindset is the training people always need. People always need training on mindset, but people don't ask for that. People ask for, I want training on how to get sales. I want training on how to recruit. But what people actually need is training on mindset. And once they can continue to learn and implement how to have a growth mindset, that's when they're going to start doing things like recruiting and selling their product, right? So you want to encourage a mindset of continuous learning and improvement, and pour belief into the 3 Ps every single day. The 3 Ps are products, people, and programs. Pour belief into the products that you have and can serve people with. Pour belief into the people behind the company, with the team, the community, and pour belief into the programs, whether that be a customer rewards program, a hosting program, the programs that you have within your company, your business opportunity. When you could pour belief into that and keep belief levels high on a daily basis, that is going to help cultivate a growth mindset. That is going to create excitement within the team. Okay. You want to foster resilience. You want to teach them how they are going to bounce back when they get a no, or when they struggle with X, Y, and Z. Okay. And a positive attitude towards challenges and setbacks. It's so important to stay positive, because as someone in a sales industry, we're going to hear no. It's not for everybody, right? This industry is not for everybody. You have to have a strong mindset if you're going to be successful here. But when you could teach them how to have a positive attitude with everything, and how you actually go for the no and not take it personally, their mindset changes tremendously. So the number one piece of advice that I got, and when I started implementing it, it changed my life, was to focus on the things within your control. If it is outside your control, then why waste time focusing your energy somewhere that you can't change the situation? You know what I mean? So focus on the things you can control. I can't control if my teammates are successful or not. I can, like I said, cultivate a growth mindset. I can do my best to empower people, but at the end of the day, they have a choice if they want to work this business. They have a choice if they decide their purpose is strong enough to continue working and pushing through the obstacles. I'm not in charge of anyone's success. I'm in charge of my own. I'm my own person. And I focus on the things I can control. I can meet people. I can meet people halfway. I can't do everything, right? I can't want it more for them than they want it for themselves. Okay. So that's step 4, is cultivating a growth mindset. Now, 2 last steps here. Step 5 is leading by example. So everything I just talked about, you need to be doing these things yourself. Like, demonstrate leadership qualities through your own actions and your own behaviors. Like, if you're not showing up, neither will they. They won't. They're like, oh, my upline. And you know what? If they do, good for them, because that means they know that they're in charge of their own success. You don't need a, incredible, amazing upline leader in order to be successful. You just don't. The people who are successful are going to take the matters into their own hands, and they're going to go be successful because they care enough and their purpose is strong enough. But let me just say that when you lead by example as a leader, you are going to inspire others to also lead and step into leadership. Serve as a role model for your downline, show that failure is a part of success, right? Like everything's not going to be perfect for us as leaders either, right? Maybe we don't recruit in a month. Maybe we don't sell an X amount of product that we wanted to in a month. But how are you bouncing back? Are you showing, what results came of the month? Are you showing that in your actions moving forward? Or are you still putting one foot in front of the other until you hit that goal, right? You're going to persist until something happens. So show that failure is a part of success and that it's not, all these rainbows and smiles, the whole journey. Like even where you are today as a leader, you may be 1, 2, 10 steps ahead of them. Things are still tough. You still experience the hard, and share that with them on how you experience the hard and how you overcome it. Right? So last but not least, step 6, that is providing resources and support. So what you want to do is you want to equip your team with the necessary tools, with trainings, resources for success. And an app I love to use is called Boards. Boards is such an incredible app for just organizing resources and tools for your team, whether that be trainings or whether that be little scripts to help them, especially when they're brand new starting out. It's like, how do I tell someone about my business? How do I tell someone about my product? You could make this board, download it in the App Store. It is such a great app, and it has been a complete game changer for my team. But really equip them with those tools so that they could feel set up for success. They could go learn about the products, the people, and the programs and everything that is involved in your company. And then just like I said earlier, offer ongoing support and guidance to help overcome obstacles and navigate the journey. I tell my team every single month, if anyone wants to book an accountability call with me, just let me know. Send me a message, right? Like I said, some people jump on weekly, bi-weekly, whatever calls with me. Some people don't want them, but I remind them every single month that I'm here to support them and I'm here to provide them with resources and anything that they need to succeed. They just have to take it, right? And even if the resources and tools are there, remember that some people are not going to take them, even if they're there. And that is on them. That is not, again, that's not within your control if people are going to take resources and tools and run with them. So let it, do your part, show up. And if people decide to jump on board with you and run with you, that's excellent. If not, that's not on you. You want to focus your energy towards the people who want to be there. Okay. So that is all 6 steps. Let me just do a quick little recap for you guys. Step 1 was understanding your downline. How your newbies are getting started is so important to understand what their goals are. Step 2 is coaching strategies, having regular check-ins and just, reminding them of their goals often. Step 3 is empowering through recognition. Guys, there's never something too small to recognize when it comes to this industry. Step 4 is cultivating a growth mindset, the training everyone needs but doesn't ask for. Step 5 is leading by example, showing up, doing the things. And step 6 is providing those resources and support for them. So I hope you guys enjoyed this episode. I would love if you guys shared in the comments what your biggest takeaways were from today's episode and what you're going to now implement moving forward to help your team just grow in this business, right? And empower them to actually want to step into that leadership role. And if you haven't already, please like this video, share this with your team, or share this with another leader that you think could really use this. And please subscribe to our channel on YouTube. If you're watching or if you're listening on Spotify or Apple, we would so appreciate a 5-star review as it helps us grow. And we appreciate you. Thank you guys so much for coming back every single week to listen to a new episode of the Unwrapped Leader. So thanks so much. Have a great day, guys. Bye.